the Off Nerd Podcast. I'm your main host, Kyle, along with my cinema co-hosts, Dan and Greg.
How you doing?
Hello.
In exactly, what time is it now? 7 o'clock? 5 hours, it'll officially be the show's 1 year anniversary. Hooray!
So, what's Ezra Miller doing right now?
I don't know. He got away with a lot of stuff, though.
He's getting charged for something.
He's
getting some charges, but he's getting away with a lot of other stuff.
I guess he's going to like a rehab and
a rehab for being crazy.
He's getting treatment, they said.
Yeah.
I think it's their way of saying they want to keep him.
DC Warner Brothers actually said they're going to keep him on as... Because they're so impressed with his performance as the Flash.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, right. So, on other points of news, AMC theaters are going to change their ticket prices again. Now it's going to be based off your seating. Your tickets will cost more depending on where you want to sit in the theater.
So you don't have your choice of seat anymore.
You're right.
That's dumb.
Yeah, it is dumb.
That's not going to help them.
No, it's going to actually probably make it worse.
Yeah, no one's going to go there. Why would I go there now?
Look, most of their money's off concessions anyway. It doesn't matter how expensive they're... Okay, where's the expensive seats? In the middle?
Right, I don't know.
In the front, I'm going to imagine in the front and then in the middle.
Yeah, in my opinion...
the back and the middle are the best places to sit. But for some reason, people want to sit up front in the middle.
Why? So they can, have their face, right next to the screen?
I don't like sitting right up front because you got to, if the screen's big enough, you have to, turn your head to see...
Yeah.
Something important.
Yeah, right.
The back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The closest I ever want to sit is, the fourth row back.
So what are they going to do when they can't sell tickets? Because let's say you and I want to go in and we want to sit in the back, and the back tickets are sold.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I just saw the article. It popped up on my news right when I was going to pick up Dan, so I'm actually going to look more into it. But that was the headlines. They're going to change their price based on seats. The other one is in the MCU with Ant-Man, because Dan was talking about the Ant-Man movie because his favorite villain's in it, Kang.
I didn't say he was my favorite villain. I said I like Kang.
Okay.
Just because I like something for once doesn't mean that you gotta go ask he's my favorite. This is my mother one time kept getting Spider-Man stuff for my sister because she thought Spider-Man was her favorite. No, her favorite's Wolverine or whatever.
Yeah. So I guess there's a big layout, and
that's a good headline for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess in the new Ant-Man Quantumania movie, Dan, they make a huge reference / start to the Fantastic Four.
Oh, that's right. They are restarting that.
Yes. And then they had, what's his name from The Office in the second Doctor Strange movie as Reed Richards.
Jim.
Yeah. Old Jim there. And now they're talking about recasting it already.
For which movie?
For the Fantastic Four movie coming up, they're already talking about recasting Reed Richards, even though they got Jim from The Office to do it.
Everyone wanted him.
Yeah, and he was good. Yeah. I mean, he only had 3 whole lines, but he looked the part very well.
As long as they don't cast his wife as literally Sue Richards, that would be dumb.
Oh, his wife from the show?
Emily Blunt. No, his literal wife. They were asked. Emily Blunt is his wife.
Oh, okay.
John Krasinski, I think his name is. And they literally wanted his wife because they were in A Quiet Place together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're let's make her blonde. They go, she doesn't even look like...
Susan Storm's like a supermodel that's super smart.
Well, depending on the version. The original one was she was just some actress.
Yeah. Another
who happens to be smart
is,
enough, but not super intelligent.
They're getting ready to do a Toy Story 5.
They did announce that. I did see that.
Did you?
How do you continue with it? Yeah, how do you continue with it? Because Woody stays back with
Bo Peep.
Yeah.
In the carnival to be able to travel and see the world and move on from being.
Yeah, but so what story are we going to follow?
I don't know. What
story are we going to follow? Are we going to follow Buzz and them when they go back?
Yeah, who are still obsessed with being.
Yeah, right. Or are we going to follow Bo Peep and Woody?
It's going to be. I don't know.
The best part about that movie is the spork. The sport. He's like, I'm trash.
I'm trash. Yeah. He keeps throwing himself away and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Sporky. I love Sporky.
I never saw that movie. Let me guess.
the last-
Was this a sport with like googly eyes on it or something?
So
Yeah.
I kind of remember.
And it's got like those. You know how like when you were in elementary school, they had those.
Face cleaner on.
Yes.
They were like the furry little pieces of wire. Yeah, right. And they were his arms.
Yeah.
I
And the
remember.
whole
But it
movie's
was
like, he knows he's garbage, so he keeps trying to throw himself away.
I
Even
think-
though she made him into a toy, all she knows is that he's like self-aware that he's just a pile of garbage.
He's aware that he's garbage because she says he's garbage and throws him out, and he's like, "I'm garbage," and he like keeps throwing himself out through the whole movie, and Woody's like telling
Trying
him
to
to
save
stop.
him and give him a reason to live. Pretty much, it's a weirdly dark thing if you think about it.
So the thing that
As dark as that one movie involving the hot dogs and the buns who fell in love.
Sausage Party.
Oh,
yeah,
man, that's super dark.
Yeah, that's a good movie though. It's hilarious.
It's a mess.
So what I don't like about it is the fourth one when it ended had a great end.
Where
Like, yeah, right.
moving on to
that was it. That was the whole.
the whole Andy arc.
Yeah, right.
Full Andy arc.
The whole thing was done. Like it was a great end, and now this feels like it's a cash grab.
It absolutely is, without question. There's a
Aren't
lot.
they all? Almost all of them are cash grabs.
Well, the first two were really good. The third
No, I'm
one.
not talking about Toy Story. I'm talking about movies in general.
Oh well,
Yeah,
yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah, but
It's all nostalgia, whatever.
but yeah, right. But that's what they're going. They're just going off the name now at this point. I
yeah,
feel
nostalgia grabbing.
because the last one had a great ending.
Right.
They did that.
Like it felt like this is the last one. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's the way they made it feel. That's the way they did it. And now we're gonna do a number 5.
Plus, they did Buzz Lightyear, which I don't know how well that did, but it didn't look all that interesting.
I didn't hear.
I watched it. It altogether was not super good. It was entertaining enough.
It's supposed to be the guy that Buzz is based off of. Right?
Yes, it was
Yeah,
supposed
okay.
to explain how everything happened with Buzz and how.
Yeah, but they switched the voice up. They switched it.
What's his name wasn't doing it no more.
Right. Well, he isn't doing it no more, or they just chose not to have him do
I
it.
don't think he is doing it anymore. I'd have to see, but I can't even think of the dude's name.
Tim Allen?
Tim Allen does Woody.
No, that's Tom Hanks.
Oh, that's Tom Hanks. You're right.
Allen.
Tim
Yeah,
Allen.
you're right.
I don't know why Tim Allen would want to do it though. It makes no sense.
All he has to do is sit on his butt in a studio somewhere
Yeah, but
for hours and hours on end. Get paid. I don't
Or
know.
you just read some lines.
What's up?
You just read some lines.
Right.
You get paid.
But he
lots
might
of
just
money.
be tired of it now. You know.
I mean, he's still acting.
Yeah, I know. He just did
Still
something
doing
with
other.
Santa
He's still
Claus.
doing other. Yeah, right. He's still doing
So I
other
don't.
stuff.
I don't know.
Well, that's a hack job if there's any other ones.
Yeah, right.
That's a cash grab. What are you talking about?
So yeah, maybe.
It's not a cash.
Oh, first line. Tim Allen is to return as. Buzz
Yeah,
Lightyear.
right. They didn't want him to be the voice of the Buzz Lightyear movie for some reason.
Yeah, who knows? It's probably contract.
It's either a contract thing or a weird artistic idea that like he doesn't really sound like the real guy
I think that's what they were going
kind of
with.
thing.
Yeah,
Which-
it's just a toy, so it's different.
All right, maybe.
Who knows? But there's that. I watched the highlights of the Johnny Depp trial this morning. I forgot how funny some of it was.
It was hilarious. I still see memes for it.
Here. So
Tim Allen's real last name is Dick. Tim Allen Dick.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Known professionally as Tim Allen. His regular middle name is Laan, and his professional name is Alle.
Ian, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's weird.
Neat. So, upcoming movies that we're interested in. Dan pointed out one to me, and even though it's not my kind of movie, I actually want to see it. The Covenant.
It's called The Covenant. It has Jake Gyllenhaal as a soldier in Afghanistan, and he has an interpreter on his team when the war was on.
Yeah.
And you find out, and his team gets ambushed, and the interpreter kills some guys and saves his life and drags them 200 miles out of the war zone. And then you find out that the guy's family is being threatened by the Taliban once they left. So he wanted to go in, but the army won't go in anymore.
Right.
So he has to go in by himself into enemy territory and stuff. It's pretty sweet.
Jake Gyllenhaal doing another army movie, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said Jake Gyllenhaal do another army movie.
Well, I did Jarhead. Jarhead was a
Yeah.
good movie.
Like he knows his things. You know what I mean?
Well, he plays creepazoids and military police guys. I don't know.
Right.
Well, he knows what he's
What was
doing.
the one where he played a creepy journalist guy?
Oh, where he's He's doing the car chases. And
Nightcrawler?
stuff. Yeah, that's it. Nightcrawler.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna say, I was like, you just made me
It
watch
was like
that.
during
Yeah.
the early days of like, reality television. Like
Yeah,
Cops
right.
and
Like
stuff
cops
that.
and stuff like that.
So there's that. Then next week, Winnie the Pooh.
Next week is Winnie the Pooh, Blood or Honey.
Oh gosh.
Then the week after is Cocaine Bear. April is Evil Dead Rise. I want to see that.
Yeah. And do we have anything in March?
Not off the top of my head.
I don't.
I have no interest in Quantum Mania, so.
No, you said about it because you.
I said I talked about it because I know that it's. Why would Kang be in the quantum realm? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know, but they probably put a reason into it.
And they have a fight with Ant-Man and a guy who would clearly beat him in hand-to-hand combat.
What, Kang?
During the trailer, that guy is much better shape than
So
Paul Rudd. Come on.
you have the Flash coming up
Oh, jeez.
in.
Oh, jeez, Rick.
Jeez Louise.
Creed 3.
Oh, did you hear about him? His career's done.
Who is?
No.
Oh
The guy who plays Creed?
no, Rick and Morty.
Oh, because he's beating his wife.
Roiland, Justin Roiland. Yeah, he's done.
Yeah.
He got dropped from Hulu. He got dropped from Netflix. I guess he was like helping make a movie. They dropped him from the movie.
Yep. Yeah, so
Isn't John Wick's coming? John Wick 4 is coming out.
Which should
Yeah.
be the end.
Doesn't mean it will.
Scream 6. Yes.
Scream 6.
Kyle. You're killing me here.
It's so mad. Oh, that made it so worth it.
There's another one with Keanu Reeves called 65. I don't know what it is. But
Yeah. Luther. There's a Luther movie.
The Fallen
coming.
Son.
Yes.
What about Luther Vandross?
No, my other man crush, Idris Elba, is his show Luther.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I guess they're doing a movie.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that.
I think it looks really good.
Shazam
Well, it's
Fury.
Luther. It's plus a crime show, and
Yeah.
most of those aren't that good.
Shazam Fury of the Gods comes out.
That looks bad. Oh, Ezra Miller.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh yeah. Oh, you said something about that.
I think it looks okay
I'll watch that with you.
because I like Chris Pine. Like he's not the bad. Like look, 1984 was Wonder Woman 1984 was not a bad movie. It was bad. Anyway, with the nonsensical wish fulfillment thing, that was weird. Why couldn't Max Lord have his regular mind control powers? I don't understand.
Yeah. With the one. Yeah.
Instead, he has
Listen.
like he's basically like a genie.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
That whole movie was bad.
Because like they didn't use any of the origin stories for any of the characters.
Yeah.
Like Cheetah wasn't cursed by a cheetah goddess or whatever.
Yeah. That was her whole thing.
That was because she was either enraged at her for like not letting her be Cheetah or trying to get her help to not be Cheetah. That was the thing.
Yeah, it was really bad. That was a really bad movie. I took Babe to see it.
The beginning action scene was wonderful
Yeah, that one was
with the
fine.
stupid bank robbers and stuff.
Yeah, that one was fine, but
Then after that, it was like,
the whole Wonder Woman being super weak because she's losing her love again. I can't lose you. Like they're really.
oh my god,
It was really bad. They took one of the
that was literally the only. Well, then it always reminds me of the only part of the first movie I didn't like.
or
Or the origin Wonder Woman. You already know
Yeah.
about all this, but
and then you also have the stupid. They tried to teach a lesson at the beginning of the movie, which doesn't work.
yeah,
Because you didn't watch this movie at all, right?
You don't
In Wonder Woman 1984,
1884. That would've
very
been even
beginning of the
better.
movie, they go back to like the ancient Greece times when Diana was young, and she's going through the test of the Amazons, and she's trying to win, and she falls off her horse, so she sees her horse running around the path, so she decides to slide down this little like
she'd take a
rock
shortcut.
Yeah, a rock way to get back to her horse. Well, she missed a target. because they're all supposed to hit targets with their bows and arrows too. So she missed a target. She didn't try to cheat. She just tried to get back to her horse, and she saw that was the fastest way to get back to her horse. She didn't know there was a target. She didn't purposely miss it. And right when she's about to win the competition, she gets stopped by her mom. And then they talked about her cheaters never prosper, and you need to earn it the right way.
So it didn't really make much sense.
It didn't make sense because she wasn't trying to cheat.
Well, what they should have did right away is to stop it from going forward anyway. If that's what they have to do.
Yeah, right.
If you have to go through a certain path, they should have said that.
Yeah.
But they didn't say that. So.
Yeah, they didn't say anything. They just said hit all the targets. And she didn't know there was a target. She wasn't trying to cheat.
Right.
But they made it seem like she tried to cheat her way through that. And then the end of the movie, she's like, then the lesson she's trying to teach Maxwell Lord has nothing to do with cheating or anything. It was so weird. It was just...
Because he's clearly taking shortcuts throughout the whole movie.
So nothing tied in.
So he's a businessman who's trying to make a bunch of money, but he's basically being...
scams.
He's a scam.
Right. I got you.
It was just really, really poorly written.
And they wasted Pedro Pascal, so whatever.
Yep. And the fight scenes were all non-violent fight scenes, except the most violent one was like the first one, where she punched one guy. The rest of it was where they do the action thing where they kind of kick things and push. They never actually hit each other. They just push each other a lot.
Right.
So that was the rest of
It
the
would
movie.
have been way better if they made Cheetah like what she is.
Yes.
A murderous person.
Yeah. A crazy...
Where she like tries to get money for stuff or whatever, random stuff.
You know what they try to do is the Batman and Robin, Uma Thurman origin of Poison Ivy, where she's like the kind of ugly chick that no one pays attention to. And then all of a sudden she becomes hot because she made a wish.
Poison Ivy was always attractive. She just got even more attractive
When she decided to part plant.
because she has pheromones or whatever.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, so that movie was bad. Ugh. You
But
ruined
anyway.
my day.
So we're gonna talk about The Last of Us.
All right, let's start with The Last of Us. So we'll start with episode 1. We are caught up to all 4 episodes, and we actually all watched it. that was the part I was more surprised about. That we're all 4 at the same point. So episode 1, Greg, I played the game, so I know the full story from beginning to end. Dan's watched parts of it. You're going into this completely blind, so you get to talk about episode 1.
Oh, yay! Whoa! So episode 1 starts off with obviously a single dad. Him and his daughter have this weird kind of like competition with each other. And she steals the money out of his drawer to fix his watch
for his birthday.
Yeah,
as a
right.
present, yeah, because she's
And,
a kid and can't afford money.
Well, yeah, right. Which makes sense, obviously. But so he's a single father. He works construction, I think it is.
They
vaguely
works
get into-
construction.
So the brother lives with him. His brother lives with them because you don't learn until later that he drops out of the army, and his brother's kind of like taking care of him because he dropped out.
Well, no, that when he was talking about that hole in the army, that was for
It was Marines.
after. Yeah, that was after the plague happened. He was trying to be a hero.
Oh, I thought it was before. He said when he was 18, he joined the army.
Oh yeah, you're right. Never
No,
mind. I'm
yeah,
wrong.
He
I'm
was
wrong.
18. He joined the Marines.
Yeah, right. And then he couldn't cut it, so he left.
And then he's been kind of
So then he was
So he's
working
been
with
trying to make
yeah,
up for that
correct, right,
failure
yeah.
that was later.
So,
All right, sorry,
anyways,
my bad. I was wrong.
so the neighbor is a very friendly, an old woman that likes the daughter, and wants her to come bake and stuff like that. I think she probably treats her like her own grandkid that she probably doesn't have. Girl goes to school, comes back that night because she was supposed to bake with the neighbor. Finds out that the grandma is infected because she's literally sucking on the lady's neck.
Yeah.
Blood everywhere.
Yep.
The dog, right? The dog stops.
Yeah, it attacks the dog. Or something.
Yeah, right. So she goes after the girl. The dog actually kind of intervenes in it, and that's when her dad and brother and uncle show up and grab her, throw her in the truck.
All right. Before we get too much further in the storyline, I want to talk about the
thing that
Makeup of the family? Is that what you're talking about?
the extreme
Diversity.
I was going to touch on it, but then I knew that it irritated you so much, so I would let you take
it's
it.
Just, all right. So, what's the main dude's name again? What's the actor's name?
Pedro Pascal
Pedro Pascal.
is the actor's name.
He plays Joel.
He plays Joel.
Right.
He's an amazing actor. Love him.
He's from like Venezuela or something.
Yeah, he's from Venezuela. The guy who plays his brother is from Texas, and it's clear
He's definitely Mexican Texan.
Yeah, he's Hispanic.
Tex American or whatever you want to call
Yeah,
it.
he's definitely Hispanic. Like, clearly. Where Pedro,
Like,
it looks
part-
like just a generic white guy who happens to have a fancy name.
Right.
So it's a very weird dynamic between those two as far as colors.
Pascal's a French name, so
Is it?
well, Pascal is a famous.
And then
Fair
the daughter's
The daughter
a
is
mixed.
mixed,
Yeah.
half African
I'll have to
American,
look at
at the very least.
I might be wrong, but
Right.
So it was a very weird family dynamic.
and they don't mention the mother.
Well,
No.
they never did in the other game either.
No,
well,
they
if they mention the mother, then they should have showed the mother at some point.
Like a picture of her dead or something.
Or
right.
on the wall.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
something.
There
Them
you
and
go,
the
yeah.
family.
Some,
that way you
some
know which-
existed that she existed.
Right, yeah.
Just, you know.
But why is his brother so much different looking?
Yeah, like it was clearly a different ethnicity.
They don't even look the same. They're like facial structure.
I'm completely different. That's
Well, I
like
mean-
comparing me and you, like we're brothers here.
I mean, it can happen.
Yes. Now the advantage is all three of those actors are all really good actors. The girl who played the daughter, I think that's the girl from the Resident Evil series who played them.
Oh, is that her? Is that
I
who it
think
is?
so, yes. She's a very good actress as the teenage
Yeah.
girl. It's just when she became an adult, she sucked.
Yeah.
So there's that. So now that we got that little bit out of there, we can continue with episode 1.
All right. So where did I go? Oh, they leave. They're on the run, or they're not on the run. They're trying to get somewhere safe, and they get into a traffic jam on the highway. Which they eventually cut off the highway, go to this little town, and
Yep.
they get bombarded by
Chaos.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
pure
right.
chaos.
Yeah,
Everything's going awry.
so they run. They're running away. They're getting out, and then they run into a soldier, or Marine, or whatever the heck he is, and they're like, "Hey, we're not infected. This, and that." The guy's going to let him go, and all of a sudden he gets a call over the radio, pretty much saying, "No survivors, kill them all."
Yeah.
And
I find that that part always kind of bothers me. I'm like, literally 0% of the military said no.
yeah, right.
Literally 0%.
Yeah,
They're all
for it.
they're all stormtroopers.
Mass
at this-
extermination.
They're all stormtroopers at this point.
Yeah, right.
No mind of their own.
So
Nope, none.
he says no, kill them all. He goes to shoot at Pascal and his daughter. Pascal jumps out of the way with his daughter in his hand, and then his brother shoots the Marine,
Yep.
kills him. And then you find out that the daughter was actually shot in the stomach.
He was nicked, but she
Yeah,
was
right.
shot.
And she was shot, and then she dies.
And then
And then it cuts forward to 20 years, where it says post-apocalyptic world.
Which
and everything. So they have the Fireflies are against the
the
government.
Fedra. They're called the Fedra.
Fireflies are against Fedra.
Yeah, the Fireflies. And in this world, there's quarantine zones where the government controls like everybody, kind of
Right.
keep everyone under hat. And there's a rebellious group called the Fireflies that are just trying to free everybody. And they're vaguely trying to free everybody because a lot of times
They
even in the
just want- yeah,
games,
right, they just
it's a
want
lot
to-
of terrorist activity.
Right.
Not even trying to like free the people. It's just
Right.
they're just causing fights.
Well, to be fair, in this world, there's a lot less random, violent people running around.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
Compared
right.
to
There's,
say like
there's
I
like
don't
little
know.
groups. Right,
Yeah, it's not like huge amount.
Right.
Because a lot of people died, obviously. So
Right. So then you find out Joel and his, is it Tess?
Tess, yes.
Joel and Tess are looking for a battery for a vehicle so they can drive out to, is it Wyoming?
Yes.
So he can see his brother. During this whole mix-up, they find a guy with a battery who's actually lying to them. He told them he sold a battery, but it's actually a bad battery.
Yep. To the Fireflies.
Yep, to the Fireflies. And then it's kind of jumpy at this point because they jump to her. When Ellie is captured,
Yes.
it kind of jumps back and forth at this point.
She's beautiful on the inside.
what are you talking?
I came to you with this argument, and I think she looks like the guy from Mask.
He can't stop.
No, she doesn't really.
She doesn't.
She has a
keep saying
weird.
this. She doesn't look like that.
On the inside.
So, anyways, You find
By
out.
the way, Kyle, she doesn't really refer to herself as a pronouns. By the way.
You find out the fire.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You find out
she
that
doesn't care what you call her, basically.
Oh, okay.
You find out that the Fireflies have caught her and they have her chained up because she's been bitten on her arm. And there's a chart when you get bitten, your neck to head area. It's 30 minutes?
Yeah.
You turn. Chest to shoulders is like 3 hours, and then everything below.
That doesn't look like her
not at all. It's like 5 hours.
like her at all.
It's like 5 hours.
That doesn't look like her at all.
I know, not at all. I don't know why you keep saying it. But so then you find
You are
out
a bad person.
I am.
So then you find out that the Fireflies and Joel and Tess are vying for the same battery. Well, the people that have the battery beat Tess up a little bit, and then they're afraid of Joel retaliating.
Yeah. Now, I thought that would throw you off, Greg, because in the game, they kind of go more into it, why everyone's so afraid of Joel. Like, they just kind of really left it vague.
Yeah, they don't really explain it.
Like, Joel, and they made like one liner to it as your attack dog.
Yeah.
Because when Tess and him become smugglers, like, Joel almost single-handedly took out all the other smuggling rings by himself because he was just going around murdering everybody.
Well, you're kind of finding out later in the later episodes that he's
Some sort of super soldier?
kind of like
Like a ninja
like
slash
he's-
super soldier?
We're like
Southern accent.
He's kind of got a pass. Like you kind of find out they spoon feed it to you.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, was he in the military at some point in that?
no.
In the
He was
game?
never, no, in the game, he was never in the military. He was just
Somehow an idiot savant?
He was just extremely violent, and I know why. Because in the games, after his daughter died, he kind of went crazy and just became really cold and merciless. That's why everyone was afraid of him, because he was just murking people.
Right.
Like there was no, he's going to intimidate you into listening. He just killed you.
So yeah, they find out that they're searching for the same battery.
Well, they kind of show that.
Kyle, yeah, that's where I'm at. Kyle says that in the game, Joel and Tess actually kill the gang, but in the show, the Fireflies kill the gang.
Mm-hmm.
He says that was the only main difference between the first episode and the game.
Yes.
And then from there,
And the weirdly ethnically diverse
and from
family.
and from there, the Fireflies are injured, and they had asked Tess and Joel to take Ellie with them to New York.
No, to Cincinnati or something like that. Somewhere out west, too.
All right, well,
Because they were kind of trying to go further out west to find there. So they were going to hit Wyoming first, find Tom.
Right.
Like, what they turned it into is he's going to find Tommy. Tommy's going to take Ellie the
Yeah.
rest of the way. But the other part I liked in that part right there with the Fireflies in the first introduction, she goes, I'll take Ellie. She goes, you have one ear. Her ear got shot
she goes,
off.
you don't even have an ear. Her ear and the right side of her head's missing. But that's pretty much the end of the first episode. They get out of the town a little bit, and Joel beats up that
episode
army.
2 that they did that?
No,
Oh, that's a major part at the end of that. It's
Joel-
the part when they get out.
Joel,
and
they
then he
get
goes
out.
nuts.
Yeah, he beats
And
the crap out of that soldier.
yeah.
Who he just talked to about a battery before then.
No, drugs. He sold
he was
drugs.
selling
Drug,
perks and
whatever.
stuff,
They're
yeah.
like all kind of sort of
Yeah, right,
cooked for Joel. Apparently, that's civil.
right.
But
Yeah.
and then he beats him to death with his bare hands. So I guess that's the whole.
Yeah. That's what I said. It's spoon fed to you.
And then all of a sudden, bam.
Yeah.
Well,
So I guess
that's when they find out that she's actually infected.
Well, the
Yes.
reason why I think
And they don't go
that's
further.
important
Right.
because they give you a hint of how violent he is, but then at
Yeah.
the end he's like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, right. Well,
And everyone's like looking at him like,
that's what I mean.
okay.
That's what I mean. It's spoon fed to you.
Yeah.
Because even in the last episode, she's like, did you? And he was like, well, let's not talk about it.
I don't want to talk about this. So,
Oh,
it was
she has
like I
a
said.
little, she has a little bit of a dark side too. She goes, "That's not my first one."
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So now that you're done with recap one, it followed the game. Like I said, it followed the game really closely.
Right.
Like those two little minor things that really have no impact. Whatever. First episode was almost cut for cut. Now I know I was just making fun of the actress because
Because you're a bad person.
I am a bad person. But you know what? What does she care? Because she makes way more money than I ever will in my
Yeah,
life.
she's probably
And
sitting there like,
Yeah, this idiot. Some fat nerd.
She had to audition for it.
Oh, I know. Because as an
There
actress...
was they were looking at 100 people. So.
Yeah, I know.
I like her snarkiness. I like this. I like her
at least like that
snarkiness
in the game.
show.
And that's what I was gonna say. As much as the joking I am making, she's an amazing actress. She nails the character. She's actually playing the character extremely well. She is portraying it perfectly. So as much as I made
Except
those,
for her face.
Yeah. So I didn't play the.
I think it's just her forehead. She needs to let her hair down.
I'm not a gamer. Do you game? Did you play the game?
I watched him play a little bit.
Yeah, he got about more than halfway. He got like the middle chunks and the end with me.
So
and the beginning.
Are we breaking down episode by episode?
Yeah, we're gonna break down
All
episode
right.
by
So someone's got to take.
So episode 2 will go to you, Dan,
No.
because I want to
do
talk
you
about
remember
episode
episode 2?
I don't really remember. That's,
Episode 2 is where they're in the museum.
3. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and Tess gets it.
Yeah, that's where they first see the infected. She first sees the infected.
Yeah, they go through trying to go through the city, and then they get into a museum, and then they get attacked by a huge amount of infected.
No, it's like 3.
The first time it's the 3, the clickers,
Yeah, it's
the ones that can't see.
Yeah, right.
And then Tess gets...
I misremember. It's been a while.
Yeah. So the episode 2 was really it was a slower episode.
Yeah.
It was just going...
So they explained to her that even if you don't see them, the fungi is still
Can communicate.
communicating with the infected.
Yeah.
Telling them where
all-
they're at. And
they're all
stuff.
linked.
Yeah, right.
So
they're in the museum and they're telling her to be quiet. And she's not being quiet. Obviously.
Well, she wasn't like being blatantly dumb. She kind of
Right, yeah,
stepped
tripped
on a piece
over
of glass.
something, yeah, right.
Like something small while they were trying to hide, and it freaked out. Like it wasn't as dumb as I thought it was going to be, where she was purposely messing up.
Right.
So, like episode 2 was it was actually very fast paced. It was just quick to the point. It was just them exploring the city, trying to find their way around.
Probably why I don't remember it. It was super boring.
It was just really cut and dry. Apocalypse.
The exploring stuff. Okay.
All right. So we'll get to episode 3.
No, I mean, seriously, because I played these games,
Yes, that's
and
true.
it's just
It's very.
it's better when you're playing the game.
2 is where you find out Tess is infected.
She got bit during the whole clickers incident.
Right.
And then she encouraged Joel to take Ellie after they found out all the Fireflies were dead. Now, that was another diversion from the game, because in the game, you found out all the Fireflies were killed by the government, the Fedra.
And not the infected.
Yeah, not the infected. In this one of them got bitten by infected, and they all killed each other trying to stop the infection.
Oh, I missed the part in the first one where they said that the Fireflies said that they were going to give them a bunch of stuff for taking her there, right?
Yeah, because they were going to
Yeah.
meet there they were going to meet a convoy of Fireflies there, and they were going to take them to the rest of the way. That was the whole point of getting her out of the city, was to meet with that convoy. And then you find out that
Because they wanted the car battery.
This is all about a car battery, which is fascinating.
well, yeah, most of the started. They wanted the car battery so they could get Ellie to
No,
to this research.
No,
Well, Joel and Tess
Tess
wanted to
wanted
get out to
car-
Wyoming. Right.
Yes, but so they changed it from the Fedra killing them to
The infected.
somebody got infected and it all went wrong. And then on top of it, how they did Tess's death. How Tess died in the game was Fedra saw them, so Fedra was going in to kill them too because they thought there were more Fireflies.
Uh-huh.
And Tess, distracted them, and then she got gunned down like RoboCop.
So basically, it was more like it was more involved.
Right.
Yeah.
There was another faction
This
or
one-
factor involved.
Yeah,
But they don't really
this
they
time-
don't really use the feds as anything but like the overarching oppression kind of thing.
Yeah.
They don't
and
really.
and
use
this
them
one,
as
they try to use them as like they're trying to keep everybody correct. They're just trying to keep everybody safe. In this, they've really tried to make the Fedra not as bad as they really are.
no,
until episode 3, and then they really start
the
getting
threat's there, except it's known and it's just kind of there.
Yeah,
They don't
it's
really,
not as-
there's not a specific person that they made a character of the feds really.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
there's not one person that they're talking to other than that guard who got beat
the
to
guard,
death at the
yeah,
end of the
right.
first episode.
Yeah. Other than that, you don't. Really,
You know they're corrupt. You know they're violent. You know
Yeah.
they're
You don't.
around.
You don't need to
Yeah.
be shown.
You
that.
can't get out or in without permission. Oh,
So-
shut up! You almost said the.
So that's
I
when. That's when.
No, I was just making sure. I was like,
So that's
I'm
when
glad I didn't know if I heard it.
That's
right.
when she blows herself up in the museum. Or
Yeah. So instead of her getting gunned down, she blows herself up in the museum after making out with a zombie.
That was like almost gratuitous, and it was not necessary.
No, it was very weird.
I was like, why are they doing this shot?
Yeah,
Do they have
very
an
weird.
extra special effects budget?
Yeah, they just like had to eat up the
Very
budget
odd.
for that episode.
Yeah, it was very odd.
Yes. So then at the end of 2, that she said, "Go find Bill. Bill will help you get to where you need to."
And it gives you a small little tidbit on Bill.
Bill, like, and then we get into episode 3, which is
Where Bill and Frank come in.
Yeah.
It's a Bill and Frank episode.
it's the Bill and Frank show at that point.
Yeah, right.
So in the game, Bill is a very minor character. You deal with him for a good hour of the game, and all he is the crazy prepper guy that has traps all over, and you have to avoid his traps that he set up for all the zombies. And then, he goes, "Hey, if you want this car battery, you need to go find Frank, because Frank has another piece of it,
Right.
and just, save him, because ha ha ha, he's not as good as I am, and he's an idiot," and just like a little rivalry thing. And then as you get through the game, after you find Frank, you find out where he is, and then you go get Bill, and then you all go over there, and you find out that Frank's been dead for months because during one of his little trap setting things, he got bit by one of the zombies, so he shot himself in the head to prevent him from turning, and he left a note for Bill. Talking about, he was sorry that he caused so much problems.
Right, yeah.
And that's...
But you said they kind of hint towards that they were in the game, right?
Yes. So there was always like that little bit of undertone. They never said for sure. And then near the end, the scene with the magazine in episode 4,
Yeah.
that's kind of where you found out they were partners. And
Oh, yeah, okay.
like right when you find Frank dead, you kind of see that Bill has a whole different expression. It's not like a rivalry thing. It was like a relationship thing. And then they just confirmed it with the whole magazine scene.
Right, got it.
So
So in episode 3, they just throw it right out there.
yeah, in episode 3, they did a full backstory on Bill, which I was completely okay
Well,
with.
it wasn't always about. It wasn't all about Bill. It was also about the extermination of people who might not be.
Well,
infected.
yeah, right.
Yeah, how they didn't overpopulate the
Because that's how
quarantine zone.
the start of the episode was him telling her about, because he told her not to walk to a certain place. You
because
find
it
all
was
these,
like a mass graveyard.
and then they have a flashback.
Yeah, right.
And then you see Bill. Bill's his.
Yeah, Bill.
And then he's in the sub basement looking at Alvin's
Yeah,
doors,
yeah, yeah.
and he goes, "Finally!"
And then he comes up. And then he comes up through the little hatch in the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he goes through all the thing where he's already a prepper, so he already had a bunch of stuff, but now that everyone's gone, he went around and got all the gas and modified a trailer from a boat to be able to get more stuff.
He
And,
put up a huge natural gas generator to run his house.
yep. And then he created a perimeter to kill zombies and keep people out.
And that's how he finds Frank. Frank falls in
Yeah,
one of his
during
traps.
I'd say about a good month or 2 after that, somebody falls in one of his tiger traps, the holes in the ground, the tiger pits.
It's not technically a tiger trap because it didn't have the spikes
Spikes at
sticking up
the
to-
a pitfall. We'll
Yeah,
do a
there you
pitfall.
go.
So then he meets the other character who is played by
I don't know.
Murray Bartlett.
Nick Offerman, but he's
Yeah, I mean he's very obvious. As soon as you see him, you know who he is.
Yeah. So Frank was played by Murray.
Murray?
That's not Murray.
It's Murray.
There's an A there.
Murray. I can't with you, man.
I just realized I'm pretty sure that's Murray, but I'm gonna try and say it fancy so I don't seem dumb. Nailed it. So Mr. Bartlett.
That's amore.
Exactly.
Let me see.
Murray. I didn't even get the last name. Bartlett.
Murray Bartlett.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy.
Why are you
Struggling.
Why are you struggling with that for?
Cause
You had it
don't
right
know
the
why.
first time.
I know.
You don't trust yourself, man.
I know.
He said Murray.
Exactly.
That's phonetic true.
And he shows me, I'm like,
That's
Murray.
phonetically correct.
Yeah.
So he finds him in his trap.
That's amore.
And then he talks to him a little bit. He was just going to shoot him, and then he kind of felt bad for him, so he was going to send him on his way. And then Frank's character is like, "Hey, I'm really hungry. Do you have any food?" So Bill decides to let him in his compound and makes him dinner,
Yep.
a really fancy dinner.
Boy, he gets a shower and cleaned up, all that.
Yeah,
good stuff.
lets him get a shower and cleaned up. and then he's gonna send him on his way after dinner.
And then he wants to play he sees the piano.
Piano.
He feels like he needs to pay him back.
Yeah, so he's gonna play the
he's
piano
gonna try
for
to play a
him.
piano for him, which
But
he
he
sucks,
sucks at singing and playing the piano. And then Bill's like, let me just
get out
handle
of the
this.
way.
And he starts playing it. And he goes, who's the girl you're thinking about? He goes, there was never a girl. And then it just turned into a very, very beard-driven kiss. Like, there was a whole lot of
There is a whole lot of beard.
there's a whole lot of beard
There is a whole
action.
lot of beard.
So then I like the joke where, Bill's like, I guess I'm going to do this. And then he goes, wait a second. Go get a shower. You smell bad.
Yeah,
You smell bad. Frank told Bill he smelled bad. So while Bill's getting a shower, it then pans to Frank being in bed waiting for Bill.
Right.
And whew,
It's another.
Murray's cut.
Oh yeah,
He is an attractive
Murray
man.
Cartlett.
He's
He's a cut
definitely
guy.
he's definitely made my list.
Oh my gosh. So, anyways,
What? He's an attractive man. I will give him that. He was-
it keeps cutting back and forth from there to kind of like the past, where like
he's like a svelte
where
gray fox.
where where Bill. Oh man, I can't.
That was a good one. Come on.
Where
So
Bill and Frank finally meet Joel and Tess.
yeah.
And
Well, before that, they have my other favorite scene. I actually got done telling Dan. So they start living together for a while,
right.
and then they get into the fight about Frank wants to fix up some of the town.
Oh yeah, he wants to paint
make it
some of the
livable.
houses. Yeah, right.
Yeah, to make it livable, just in case they ever want a community. And they get in the big fight. And this
Well,
is
he
my
said in case we make friends, and
Yeah.
Bill's like, we don't have friends.
We don't want friends.
Right.
And then he goes, I'm tired of all your conspiracies, Bill. Whoever's responsible for 9/11. And then he goes, and then the government are Nazis. And then Bill goes, they are Nazis. He goes,
Oh, yeah.
well, now they are.
Yeah. He goes, the governments are Nazis. He's like, they are Nazis. He goes, well, now they are.
And then they do the cut to having a like couples dinner.
Yes, with Joel and Tess. Yep. And Bill and Joel are very wary of each other.
Yeah, because they're both the jaded protectors.
right.
So the whole time they're both staring each other down while Bill's got a gun in his right hand pointed right at Joel's face while he's trying to eat a salad. While Tess
And Joel tells him to get it the heck out of his face. Yeah.
And while Tess and Frank are having like girl talk.
Oh yeah, like big time girl talk.
Fuck.
They like, went shopping or whatever.
Yeah, they're
she
like-
went to see the shopping
Yeah,
center.
they're gal pals.
Yeah,
while
right.
those two are just trying to not kill each
So
other.
then they leave, and Bill's like, I don't like you.
Yeah, right.
Joel's like, I don't like you either.
Yeah,
And
they kind of.
then he tells him about the corroding in his fence and all
Yeah,
that.
they kind of.
He goes, I can get you 10,000 feet of non-corrosive aluminum wire or whatever.
Right.
And they're just kind of testing each other. And I really like that because it gave everybody character. Then we get into the very Joel warned him about raiders, not always try. And then we get into a scene where raiders show up.
Yep. And
That was pretty crazy.
Bill's out there on his own with a rifle, just popping people.
Yeah, he's dominating these guys. He's dominating
just
these guys.
popping people off, and Frank comes out and ruins it all
Yeah, Frank kind of is like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Get in the house!" And then Bill gets shot.
because he looks away.
Yep. And then
he was shooting guys who were on fire.
yeah, like Bill was nailing it. Like Bill had everything in hand.
Those flamethrower things are crazy.
Right? So then when Bill gets shot, Frank drags him back into the house after they finish off the raiders.
And you think he's gonna die because he gets shot?
Well,
It's on his left side.
Yeah.
It's kind of
But
like in that spot.
Frank's
weird
not a
spot.
doctor,
Yeah, right.
so he could die of sepsis or
Right.
the infection. So then, Bill's telling Frank, hey, if I die, I have a list for you. You need to follow this list and find Joel.
Yeah,
He will protect
Joel and
you.
Tess, yeah, right.
Yeah, they will protect you. And then you find out that
And it flash forwards like
then flash forward,
years.
yeah, another 10 years.
And then that's when you find out that Frank has it. I'm pretty sure it's MS.
Yes, I did confirm it was MS.
Is it MS?
Frank has MS, and Bill's super old now, and they're still living their life. And then it gets to the point where it's so bad that Frank's ready to die. He doesn't want to live through it no more. He's living in pain. He doesn't want to be alive anymore, and Bill's not willing to let him go at first. And then
Well, technically he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, technically. So, like, he was struggling with that, and then he agreed to all of it.
Well, so he says he wakes up, and Frank is in his wheelchair really early, and he's like, "Well, how did you get in your wheelchair?" And he goes, "Well, it took me all night, but I got here."
Did it, yeah.
And he goes, "Well, it's not good for you to sleep in your wheelchair." And he goes, "I'm not going to fall asleep." And he goes, "Well, why do you think that?" And he goes, "Because today's my last day."
Yeah.
He's like, today's my last day. I'm not doing this anymore."
Yeah.
And he tries to bicker with him, and he's like, "No, listen." He goes, do you love me?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, I love you." And he goes, "Well, you're going to take me to the shop. We're going to pick out nice outfits.
You're going to pick out the one I like for
right,
you.
Yeah, right." He goes, "You're going to do this." He goes, "We're going to come home. We're going to have a nice dinner. And
We're going to get married, then have a nice dinner.
Yeah, we're going to get married." And he goes, "And you're going to put all these pills, a whole bag."
It was a gallon Ziploc bag. It was
He goes, "You're going to put
them
these in my wine, and I'm going to drink it."
He goes, "And then you're going to take me upstairs. You're going to put me into bed.
And we're going to go to sleep.
And we're going to go and he goes, "I'm going to go to sleep in your arms. That's how I want to go." And then they go through the thing where Bill finally breaks down and agrees to everything.
Right.
They get through dinner, and he made the exact same dinner
that they had when they first met.
When they first met, with the same wine and everything. And then he shows him put the pills in his wine
glass, and he drinks it. And then he goes, "Wasn't there?" He goes, "Wasn't there stuff in the first bottle?" And he's like, "Yeah, enough to kill a horse."
He goes, "Was there pills in the wine too?" He goes, "Yeah, enough to kill a horse." And he goes, "Well, that's really selfish, but objectively, it's really romantic." So then they go to their bedroom where
they don't
die.
show anything, but they obviously die.
They obviously die with each other, and then it goes to weeks later where Ellie and Joel show up,
and Ellie finds the note left for Joel
with the truck keys.
And we told him the combination to get into his
bunker.
Yeah, his bunker, so he can get weapons and ammo.
Yeah, get everything. Inherited him his. Yeah, inherited. Yeah. He inherited him his entire bunker and all his supplies.
Anything.
And just made it very clear: don't open the bedroom door; it'll smell bad. We left the windows open.
Right.
Just let us be. And it was and then there was a very heartfelt letter with some great lines in it, like whoever this concerns, or Joel.
It's whoever finds his note,
but most likely Joel.
Probably Joel.
Yeah, right.
Probably Joel. Yeah. He goes, "This is most likely Joel reading this. You're the only one I think could survive all my traps." Quoted. And it talks about. It was very intense talking about where they didn't like each other, but he respected Joel,
and he wants him to protect. And she doesn't say it because Tess.
He assumed
Tess is
right, because they're both men that will do anything to protect.
I think he said when he started off, he didn't think there was anyone to live for, and he knows that
because he met Frank.
Yeah, right. Now he knows that he was wrong.
Yeah, it was none of this was in the game. Like I said, it was a very quick in and out, no backstory, just that reveal, and then moved on. It was not as romantic as this. I liked this episode because
I thought it was a good episode.
They put so much character into these two minor characters that had literally half an hour part of the game that literally had no purpose in the game other than they were just happened to be there.
Right.
And they characterized them. It gave it a nice heart-tugging episode that I felt was done extremely well.
I thought it was a good episode. I know a bunch of people.
It also had the parts about the whole, mass genocide. And,
well, it shows parts
and
of that.
explosions a little bit.
Yeah, it had a little bit for everyone.
It has gunfights. It has fire.
It had comedy. It had
everything. Burning people.
It had everything for everybody. The only thing we were missing is maybe somebody doing sweet ramps with their car, like in Fast and Furious. Then it would have had everything.
So
we need to stay away from Fast and Furious.
Yeah, right.
We're never. By the way, public service announcement: if you're listening to this show, just know never suggest those Fast and Furious movies. We will not watch them. In fact, you may be banned from the Discord or anything else.
So I know a bunch of people that watch this show too.
Yeah,
and I know two people, and one that didn't absolutely hated that episode for that reason. I'm like, why did you I don't understand why you hated it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
He doesn't like romance, or he just doesn't like,
I don't know.
No, I'm serious.
I don't know what it was. He just said that he didn't like how far it varied from because he played the game.
Oh, it was a big game.
Yeah, and he was like, it doesn't follow the game. I'm like, well, so what? Who cares?
Yeah, they decided
So
to
he's
give.
a rules lawyer.
Yes.
Like a legalist. It has to be the same exact
Yeah,
thing.
right. He
Yeah,
was-
but if he wants to be so worried about the rules and exactly the game,
Pedro
let's
Pascal
talk
doesn't
about
look like the guy either.
yeah, right.
yeah, let's talk about the super ethnically diverse family there.
But he said it, and I was like, who cares? I'm like,
Yeah.
if you really wanted to follow the game, you could probably do it in 3 episodes and
Yeah,
be over with.
realistically,
Be over with.
Yeah, realistically,
I
get,
they're just trying to create a story.
yeah, they're trying to give character development. Now, that's where that went right. Where it's going wrong is the next episode, episode 4.
Oh yeah, you don't like this character.
So in episode 4,
this is the one where I walked in on you guys talking about when I got here.
yeah. So in episode 4, they show the scene where they're driving through, and they finally get to Kansas, I believe.
They're in Kansas City.
They're in Kansas City, and this is where
Kansas City's in Missouri.
Yes, I know. It's right on
Well,
the border.
a lot of people do not realize that Kansas
Yeah.
City is in Missouri.
So a lot of it was really following the game all the way up until they do a quick swap cut to a woman
Interrogating a guy.
interrogating an old guy
In a metal
container, shipping container.
shipping container.
And she's telling him, like, where are they? Where are they? You need to tell me where they are because you gave up my brother to Fedra, and they killed him, and they tortured him, and da 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 da.
Well, you got
I-
to. Well, you kind of got to back up a little bit because for that's when they go through that trap.
Yeah, I was gonna go through that. I
Oh,
wanna
okay. You're
get-
just gonna jump back to okay.
I just wanted to get through this because this has nothing to do with the game or anything.
All
And
right,
it was really
okay.
weird side detour, where it just kind of tried copying the Walking Dead show, which was where it started getting really bad seasons.
Never watched it.
It was bad. This is during the bad seasons.
Only like maybe the first 3
The maybe
seasons.
yeah, the first
are
3
good,
seasons were good, and then we
like-
got to season.
Because it started to get into a thing with The Walking Dead where the groups apart, separated from each other, and they have individual episodes, kind of,
Yeah.
and then they all come together for a couple episodes, and then for a
Re-separate.
season, and then they go apart again.
Yeah.
That's the pattern. It's ridiculous.
So, you know, she's like, they're trying to give character development to a situation that didn't need character development.
Right.
They're trying to add this chick and make her the focal villain of Kansas City.
Well, that's what the guy at work said. He's like, that girl is not even in the show.
so
He goes,
could
I don't even know where
they-
she came from.
at all.
He's like, I don't even know
what
where she
their
came from.
point of view is they should stick with Ellie and Joel, and then have just people coming at them, basically.
That's what happens in the game.
Right.
So they want to overcharacterize why the 2 African American kids are there, Sam and
I forget his other guy.
Wesley. Sam and Wesley. Because so they want to make this woman an arch villain who's after them, and like not even just like regular after them, like stupidly obsessed after them.
Why
That
are they
makes
even
no
after?
sense.
It wasn't really clear why they're after him either.
because
They gave up her brother.
yeah, they told on her brother.
And
to the government.
somehow she turned everything around, and she's now the leader of the.
Yeah, and she's saying that they're the reason why the government's been. She somehow turned because
The thing I had a weird problem with is like, why is she the leader?
Yeah,
she's
I
not
don't-
especially impressive talking or anything,
and she's stupid,
and she doesn't.
She sounds very like
dumb.
yeah.
And then at, whatever.
All right,
So basically, they left Bill and Frank's house.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they took all their stuff.
Yeah.
No guns because
Well, they
Ellie
did,
wants a gun, but
well he took
She
he took a rifle. She took a pistol. She
Yeah.
snuck a pistol.
yeah.
So
that
yeah.
comes into play.
So
Yeah,
we
right,
get to the
right.
point where they're driving through Kansas City because everything's blocked off on the other side, and I like how they did that because it was weirdly clear after that underpass.
Yes, very clear.
So
no
that-
cars or
because it
nothing.
was set up to be a trap, so they would go through the city.
right.
And as they're driving, there's some guy going, "Help me, help me!" See, trying to get them to stop.
Which that's another problem.
And Joel
I find.
picked up on that trick and took off.
And when
But then he ran across the spike strip.
Yeah, which there was a whole trap for the Raiders, and that's what happens in the game. And then we get to the car crash scene where Joel shoots 2 of them, and then he has to physically get into a fight with one where Ellie sneaks up on the guy
he's beating Joel. He's
Yeah,
ready.
he
ready
got
to
the
kill
jump on Joel.
Yeah,
he got
right.
the jump on
Right.
Joel and is about to kill Joel, and Ellie shoots him.
that was pretty hilarious, actually.
Yeah, but
Where
she
he's
shoots
like,
him in the butt
"It's
cheek.
okay, we don't have to fight
We're
anymore."
best friends now.
Yeah, right. You just tried to kill us, but we're okay now.
That's hilarious.
And then she, she's going through that she just shot somebody, and Joel tells her to go hide so he can kill this guy.
And you think you're going to hear a shot.
No, he just beats him to death.
You think you're going to hear a pop, and all of a sudden
he stabs him.
You just hear a thud. I don't know if he beat him.
He beat him to death.
Well, he also stabbed him at the end.
Yeah, because there was a knife wound clear.
Yeah, but you hear a thud though, like he hit him.
So they go through that, which is very true to the game. The only part is when they started going into that chick storyline stuff where they kept cutting back to her like she's important. Don't worry, I'm keeping time. So then we get to.
We might have to continue this next time, man.
Yeah, this is the last episode. So then we get to the point where they start hiding away because all the people are looking around Kansas City looking for not only them but these two kids still. And
which, by the way, very young.
Yeah. Like one's a teenager and one's
like one's like a 7. Yeah. He looks like he's 7.
Yeah, and that's what happens in the game. And I'll get so that goes to them, and then Joel and Ellie fall asleep, and then they wake up to guns in their face.
Yep, 2 kids.
Yeah. So now to go back to the game is right when all that happened and Joel kills that guy.
Yeah.
It's just that Kansas City's literally full of raiders, and they killed all the government, and they're just killing anybody that walks in there. The whole city's like pretty much under their control. They just keep killing everybody and looting, and that's all they do. They're trying to give a backstory to like, oh, well, they were against the government, and that's why it all. They're trying to add more, and it would have been just fine.
Yeah, right.
It was more than fine as a narrative. Is just full of crazy raider people that hated the government. Right. You don't need a backstory of why she's after Sam and Wesley because
it sounds like country people who invaded the city after it went down and just kill everybody.
Yeah, they killed the government people and took over their trucks and everything else, and they're kind of just living like wild animals. So in the game, as you're going through, you end up stumbling on Wesley and Sam as also survivors. And Joel's like, we're not taking you with us, your liabilities. But then he's like, you know what? Come to agreement since you know the city a little bit better than us. As long as we all get out together, we'll go our separate ways.
Right. I don't really mind the way that they found those two.
Oh, no, I don't mind that at all.
Oh, no, he just doesn't like how...
They're trying to make them way more important than what they were. The whole crux of them is...
So what he's saying is in the game you just stumble upon them and there's no like big
backstory where the chick's after them because of
he's
revenge.
Saying that this whole city looking for him is what he doesn't
I guess.
Because then she's like, oh, Sam and Wesley somehow got out of the city and informed outsiders to come get us.
I just found her to be incredibly ineffectual. I don't know why anybody would follow her.
Yeah.
No, and that's
I felt the same.
I go, why would the guy, the older guy with the gun...
Yeah,
he should have been the lead.
Yeah, why is he? Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a weirdly disconnect that doesn't make any sense, and they're trying to add more characters. And I don't know if this was just a way to stretch it out. I don't know
because it had a weird cult-like vibe almost.
Yeah, and it never happened. They were just raiders that were killers.
Well, then they're like, when she said, "Get all the."
And then she's
like, "Tell them get all the people who are resisting the resistors." She like round up all the resistors and find out where they're at, and
like they know. It didn't make sense.
You wouldn't have known where they were in the first place.
Number one, if they knew where they were, you would have found out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then there's the other thing with the whole apparently there's a huge amount of infected underground somewhere.
Yes.
Which isn't in the game. That's another thing that guy got.
She was like in a door and she goes, "Should we tell everybody?" I go, "No." I go, "Yeah, you should. Yeah. Everyone should know what's happened."
Yeah, that's another thing. That's
really dumb.
Until
you want them to burst out and everybody panicking running around?
Yeah. So until we get through this whole little arc that they're doing right now, I don't want to spoil anything for a lot of things that are going to happen, so I'm going to wait and discuss it. So other than that, happy birthday to the show. This is our 1 year. As of 4 hours from now. Yeah. I believe either tomorrow night or Saturday, I plan on doing another stream, doing gaming stuff.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow, I don't know we'll see how I feel.
Oh, no. I wasn't figured that we were all going to sit around for that. I figured it was just going to be like a me, Andrew, and our New Edition Rob thing.
Got it.
Worst comes to worst, I'll put you on Discord call and you can shoot the crap with us. We'll figure out something to do with you, Dan.
Real quick, anything...
I can be over there if you want me to.
Real quick, we haven't been here for a while. Anything you watched that we didn't watch?
I want to watch the new sci-fi series, The Ark, but I haven't really watched that at all. It's only on episode 2, so...
We'll have to check it out. So, everyone have a good night.
All right, thanks.
See ya.
Bye.
Yo!